Here's what it looks like to me on the outside. It looks like that a lot of people are throwing money on the shell of a product. You go in, you see the trailer, you go in, you paid your money, and then you get kind of a hollow movie. Is that the studio's idea? Is there a different process that goes into the mind of making a movie? That we're getting so much of this in the mainstream, that there's so many mainstream movies that are kind of pomp and circumstance?
Well, again, it goes back to this bankruptcy of original ideas, but let me try to rephrase your question and answer it in a way that may be useful, because a lot of times when I talk to film class or film students, they say, what advice do you have? I am so honestly cynical that I think a lot of people leave that room and go into another profession, because I don't want to falsely encourage anyone to think this is a cakewalk. It isn't. You better really, really love what you're doing and be absolutely passionate about it, or it's going to show in the work. But I think the best advice I could give anybody is, first of all, read as much as you can, experience life as much as you can, travel, understand people that you don't know anything about, and observe behavior. And when it comes to writing something, make sure that your characters, more than anything else, are interesting. They have problems that people can identify with, relate to, and invest their emotional time with these characters. And it better happen fast, like in the first 5 minutes. If you don't win me over with who's in front of the camera, I'm out. I'm dialed out. I don't want to see it. I don't care how cool it is visually. I need to understand the dilemma of this person or persons. What do they want? Why can't they have it? Who's against them? What could they possibly do to get them what they want? And do that early on, and chances are you'll have a winner. And it doesn't matter if it was shot on an iPhone or a Sony F65. That's what is my ingredient for success. And to be really specific now, again, if I were starting all over, I would be making so many little movies and working my way up to a full-size movie, putting them on YouTube, because studios do pay attention to that. If you're a talented filmmaker and you're posting your movies on YouTube, sooner or later, with a bit of luck and timing, somebody's going to find you. The idea that you're going to get an agent and they're going to, groom you and make your career work, forget it. You want my honest advice? Just start making movies about short films, people, characters, situations that are really emotionally exciting. And then you start adding the technique, you start adding the slick setups and all that. But basically just work with and my goodness, take acting classes. Somebody years ago said to me, you want to be a screenwriter? Read a lot of scripts. Read the bad ones, read the great ones that have been made into great movies. And then, young artists go to museums and they copy great paintings for the technique. I was once told by someone, and I thought it was, and I did it for a while, they said, take a great screenplay and write it. I mean, copy it, but not for plagiarism. Just write every word that writer did and get into the rhythm of the writing. And, the thing about screenwriting that's so interesting, it's almost like long haikus. The really good writing doesn't have flowery sentences. It's like, a shot rang out. He ducked. It's little teeny phrases that make a complete picture. So one of the acting classes I was in was with a legendary acting teacher named Sandy Meisner, who had a school in New York. It was called Neighborhood Playhouse. And about, I think 25 years ago, he came to California, and every for 6 months, he would have the Neighborhood Playhouse West, and I was lucky enough to get into that class. And I remember there was a lot of well-known actors in there who just wanted to be in the presence of this guy. And somebody was in their early 30s playing King Lear, and technically the performance was good, and Sandy Meisner stopped him and said, all right, don't beat yourself up. There are some roles that unless you have lived life, you're never going to play it as well as it's written. You need mileage. You need that, And it's interesting because the unfortunate accidents, emotionally or physically, that we experience in life as a performer or as a writer or director can actually add to your quality of work if you use it properly. And don't say, oh shit, I had that terrible accident and I was, in a coma for 6 months and now I'm awake, but I want to forget that. Don't forget it. Embrace it. Make it part of who you are. And that stuff adds up.